Welcome back to the channel, guys. This is VIN0942, VIN942, 2016 223, which is Caviar with LA20 black interior for sale in El Paso, Texas. So in West Texas, 105,000 miles. And it's right now it's for sale in the Facebook groups and Facebook Marketplace, things like that. Production statistics, 448 out of the 2,348 cars for the US 49 were Caviar 223. Of those, 225 had LA20 black interior. That's 9.58% of all of the US 49 production was in this color combo. So it's like a 2 or 3 out of 10 for rarity. It's the third most common color combo for these cars. White with red, most common. White with black, second common. And black with black is the third most common that you'll see on these cars. For 2016, 284 out of the 1,418 cars were Caviar, and 148 of those had black interior. So at its rarest, this car is one of 148. In the GSF world, pretty common. Carfax, Epic VIN, and AutoCheck. So Carfax shows this as a 5-owner, 1-accident car to the rear in November of 2017, and a follow-up had a true frame report, which I've seen this on about maybe 24 of these cars in the Carfaxes, but it's a dealer offered service where they do a in-depth inspection. So like they pull panels off and fender liners and sometimes bumpers. They pull stuff back to look at repairs when there's a question. So this having a rear accident, they did an inspection specifically to the rear, but they pulled all of the interior trunk panels back and showed pictures of it, showed that there's anything that was done there as far as repairs. So there's no like frame or actual body damage. It's just, anything on the outside. And they found that the rear bumper was refinished. It wasn't replaced, it was refinished. So it's original equipment bumper, but it was repainted. So could have been a minor parking lot boo-boo. Doesn't really give much else other than this car has a repainted rear bumper. Not a deal breaker, but something to note. Epic VIN shows this as a 2-owner, which is not right. 1-accident car, it's the same one, November of 2017. AutoCheck shows this as a 4-owner, no accident car, which is wild. That this is why I do all 3 of these, is because when they have differing information, you at least have other information to go on. So it looks like this is a 5-owner car with 1 accident, and that 1 accident was the rear bumper being repainted. Previous sales. So this car first went on sale in February of 2016, $88,000 in New Jersey, and it was still for sale in April of 2016, and it still looks like it was for sale in September of 2016, where they must have done a dealer trade or something like that. So then it popped up at a dealer in Virginia, still new, and then for sale in November of 2016 still, and it finally sold at either the end of December 2016 or the beginning of January 2017. Somebody got that December to Remember sales event. So like 10 or 11 months for sale from new, and that's pretty typical of what you saw when these cars were new. Then it pops up for sale July of 2018 when the true frame inspection was done at around 20,000 miles, $54,000, and it was for sale in Georgia. And it was sold about a month later in August of 2018 to a buyer in Colorado, who was then the second owner. October of 2024, $46,000 with 95,500 miles. Still for sale in December of 2024 when the owner put it on cars.com for $42,000 with 96,500 miles, and it sold to its 4th owner in Colorado in February of 2025 with about 100,000 miles on it. And then it was a private sale to the current owner, the 5th owner, in October of 2025, still with about 100,000 miles on it. And now here it is, mid-March 2026, so like 5 months later, it's for sale in Texas. He's asking $40,000 with 105,000 miles. So the seller states that it has an NVIDIA exhaust, it has wheel spacers, and a lot of recent service done, but it does have the usual chips on the front. Doesn't have paint protection film, so with 105,000 miles, not surprised to see some chips and things like that on the front. He also states that it has a spare steering wheel, so like probably the carbon fiber steering wheel that a lot of people do. My blue car has that. Pretty common to see for an upgrade on these cars. Comes with a dash cam, but overall, it really looks great for the mileage. It was paint corrected in 2021 and ceramic coated, so probably could use it again, being 5 years old or so, but the paint was polished to perfection 5 years ago, and obviously it's been well taken care of since then, because even here in March 2026, the paint still looks fantastic. And as you know, black is a very difficult color to keep looking perfect, and it still looks really good. It looks very clean under hood. You can tell it's very well taken care of. The interior looks pretty good too. The touch points, You don't see any excessive wear to the steering wheel, the driver's seat bolster, the armrest. There is a little bit, but again, it has 105,000 miles. It's got a lot of use. The carbon fiber trim on the interior looks pretty good too. I don't see any signs of delamination, so another green flag. I did notice, like going back to pull through my pictures that I have on previous sales, when it was for sale previously by the previous owner, he notes that the car has never seen winter driving. So being in Colorado, that's a good thing to note. Colorado uses magnesium chloride in their winter. They don't use salt. So it's not as harsh as it is on in some of the other areas. But again, he says it hasn't been winter driven by the previous owner. The current owner lives in El Paso, doesn't really get snow there. So I would think it's safe to say that underneath of this car is probably in pretty good shape, probably not rusty or anything like that. So as far as the price goes, $40,000 for one with 105,000 miles, it's a pretty fair price, especially if it's well sorted, because usually when they get up in miles, people get kind of lax on the maintenance, and as the values go down a little bit. I think this car at $40,000 is an exceptionally fair price for the mileage, and there's been several others with similar mileage that have come up, and there's a silver one that I just did not too long ago that they wanted $43,000, and it's almost identical to this, except it needs a whole bunch. This car doesn't need a whole lot. And so with that, we'll go ahead and jump into the service history, and you'll see why. Originally, this car, I wouldn't call it well dealer serviced, but under the last couple owners, it has been very well dealer serviced. There's a big gap from 2019 to 2023, but once the owners in 2023 had it, it's pretty good for service history. So it had some catching up that needed to be done, and it looks like that was done. May of 2018, the low pressure fuel pump was reprogrammed. So that's the humming or the buzzing you hear from the back seat. That's already addressed, so that's done. December of 2019, the KLG was done. That is the GPS location being incorrect. And so there's an update for the navigation. That's done. They ordered parts for the JLB, which is the high pressure fuel pumps, and they were not installed there. And I guess they weren't for a while. Then there's a big gap in the service from 19 to 23, and then it comes in reporting fuel leaking. Well, why was there a recall on these fuel pumps? Because they crack and they leak. Well, this one was cracked and leaking, fortunately didn't catch fire, and the JLB recall was then done about four or 5 years later. So you have pretty new high pressure fuel pumps on this car too. It wasn't replaced early on. So that's kind of cool to see, but kind of scary that it wasn't done early on, because they did crack, and this car could have caught on fire. February of 2025, a pre-purchase inspection was done, and I'm guessing it was a post-purchase inspection, because they also paid to have the 60,000 mile service done, and spark plugs and coolant and a new battery. And that was done well after 60,000, but it was done to probably catch it up on maintenance. March of 2025, 100,000 miles. After the pre-purchase inspection, they said that the car wouldn't start. And the certification ECU, which is the thing that's looking for the key, that had to be replaced, and the keys were reprogrammed. And so, you don't see that very often. There's maybe, 2 or 3 other cars that I've seen that become an issue. Could be related to low battery voltage or jumping the car. So part of that pre-purchase inspection, they also noted that something was loose inside the driver's side front tire. So that could be a tire pressure sensor, or the little rubber pieces that build up inside from use. I don't know. Just something of note there. Also, May of 2025, at around 100,000 miles, they did a transmission service, TVD service, and they requested to set the alignment to max negative for track use, but they stated that they couldn't do that because the factory alignment is not, the camber is not adjustable. So something of note, maybe this car has been, a little track time or something like that. These cars can handle it. That's not a deal breaker or anything like that. August of 2025, pre-purchase inspection again, and they found no recommendations needed. So it had a clean bill of health. Kind of reassuring to see that like 6 months ago and 5,000 miles ago, this car had a clean bill of health from the Lexus dealer when they did a pre-purchase inspection. So that's what you like to see too, another green flag. As far as other maintenance goes, the previous for sale post, the previous owner stated that the brakes were done around 92,000 miles, had a new windshield done in the 80,000 mile range. The car was polished and ceramic coated, as I said, in 2021. But it's basically caught up on service. It's ready to go. So what is not done? Well, the front lower control arm bushings, I didn't see anything about that. So if they haven't been replaced with 105,000 miles, I would probably expect to see some sort of significant interior tire wear on the front tires. If they have been done, maybe you're already set then, but that would be something of note on this car, that I would look at the insides of the front tires, make sure you don't see any excessive wear. If you do, you need You'll eventually need 2 tires, but an alignment and front lower control arm bushings. I don't see on the service history anywhere where the carbon fiber trim on the interior was replaced. So that means if you take this car to an exceptionally cold climate, however it was in Colorado, if you take it to an exceptionally cold climate and drive it with the heat cycling and everything, you may see the trim start to delaminate. But that would be something to note. The ZLZ has not been done on this car. That is the cracking, deforming, or sticky dash. So this car's in-service date was December 28th of 2016. So you have until December 28th of 2026. So you have a few more months to get that done if it is at all sticky. This car's now in El Paso, Texas. It's in a very hot climate, but it hasn't actually been there during a Texas summer yet. So if it's gonna be in the Texas summers or parked outside, see if you can get that dash to get sticky as fast as you can and take it to the Lexus dealer and have them replace it before it's out of coverage. The HVAC servo sweep, as always, make sure this car is fully warmed up. Set one side to max hot, one side to max cold. Cycle through everything, switch sides, do the same thing, make sure everything responds. If they don't, some of the servos can be replaced without removing the dash, but there are a few that you have to pull the dash to replace. The valley plate. The valley plate is the big thing always. Don't see where that's been done on this car, and this is it's heat cycles and time along with mileage, but it's not necessarily mileage related. And so this car, having never had the valley plate done, if I did a pre-purchase inspection, I would not be at all surprised if you started seeing any leaks from the valley plate. But the key giveaway to that would be look at the overflow reservoir and see if it's low. If it's low on coolant, but not empty, if it's empty, you're in trouble. But if it's low, then it may have a leaking valley plate. As I said, check the tires, see how old they are, check the depth, things like that, but look at the wear on the insides as well. So that brings me to, would I buy this car? Absolutely. So actually when we were buying that car was when this car was for sale, and that's why I remember this pretty well. And this would have been one of the ones I would have bought had that blue one not come along. And so that tells you really all you need to know. This car is well sorted. It's not winter driven, allegedly. I haven't seen the undersides of it. But it ticks all the right boxes. The accident was a long time ago, but it's also been inspected since then for that. Like, it's just check, 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 check. You know, everything is done. The transmission service is done. The spark plugs are done. It's the brand new high pressure fuel pumps for the recall. Like, just all the stuff is done. And so it's pretty well sorted. It's a great driver car since it's got chips and things on the front of it. If you wanted it to be perfect, repaint the hood and the bumper and go drive it, put some PPF on it. But you know, it's definitely one that I would consider had I not recently purchased a second one. So anyway, that's what I've got for you. VIN 942, definitely worth going and checking this one out, guys. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you soon.